Read the one about the 69-year-old.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that the 2022 Stanley Cup Finals between Colorado and Tampa Bay have started, we're going to take a long look back at probably one of the greatest moments in Stanley Cup history 90 years ago, where a man called Mush made NHL history. So today we're going to be talking about the guy we called Mr. March, Harold Clarence March, better known as Mush. Now, the native of Silton, Saskatchewan, should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, mainly because of his 17 years with the Chicago Blackhawks, where he was an icon with the team from the late 20s to 1945. He is best remembered, of course, for scoring the game-winning goal in the second overtime of Game 4 of the 34 Stanley Cup Finals to lift the Blackhawks to a 3-1 series triumph. This was the first Stanley Cup overtime winner in history. Now, March, at 5'5", not the biggest drink of water, was a right winger who played for 17 years, all with the Blackhawks from 29 to 45. During that span, he skated in 759 games, 153 goals and 230 assists. Never scored 20 goals, but he only played 40 to 45 games a season. Since the Blackhawks were not an overly successful team during most of those 17 years, he only played in a total of 45 playoff games, but made the most of it by getting 27 points, including 12 goals and 15 assists. Now, he also scored the first ever goal at Maple Leaf Gardens in 1931, and ironically, he kept the puck and dropped it at the Gardens' final game in 1999. Now, Chicago had a mini dynasty in the 1930s. He won in 34 and 38, and again he scored the first goal of MLG on November 12, 1931. Now, on February 13, 1999, as part of the final game, also between the Blackhawks and Leafs, he officiated at a ceremonial face-off with the very same puck that he had used to score the first goal almost 68 years before. Now, he became the first recorded player again in hockey history to win the Stanley Cup for his team in an overtime goal, and he was the last surviving member of the Blackhawks' 1934 Stanley Cup team. Now, this is a little bit of background of the 34 team, and it'll take a few minutes to go through it. The previous season, Chicago had a terrible year. They finished in last place in the American Division and missed the playoffs. Now, Tommy Gorman, the great coach, was brought back to lead the squad in 34. And while the team was scoring NHL low 88 goals, they allowed an NHL best 83 and had a 20-17-11 record to finish in second in the American. Goaltender Chuck Gardner was named captain of the team for the season. Now, Paul Thompson led the charge with 20 goals, while Doc Romes earned a club high 21 assists. Now, Johnny Gosling had 16 points and 16 goals and 30 points, while the great Lionel Calker, acquired from the Maroons before the season began, would bolster the blue line with 23 points and had a club high 87 penalty minutes. Now, Gardner won his second Vezina that year. Now, the Hawks faced the Canadians in the first round of the playoffs in a two-game total series, and after winning the first game at the Forum 3-2, the Blackhawks would tie Montreal 1-1 in the second game to win the series 4-3. In the second round, Chicago would face the other Montreal team, Maroons, in another two-game total goal series. The Hawks would once again win the opening game 3-0, and then Chicago would hold off the Maroons in the second game, winning 3-2 to win the set 6-2. Now, this allowed the Hawks to advance to the second Stanley Cup final in 3 years, and the Hawks faced the Red Wings at a best of 5, and the Blackhawks took the first two games, with then Detroit, first two games in Detroit, returning home needing only one to clinch the cup. The Wings spoiled the party in Game 3, beating the Blackhawks 5-2, but the Blackhawks would come back and win the fourth game 1-0 in double overtime to clinch the first ever Stanley Cup. So, that's the story of Mush Marsh. We thank you for listening, and don't forget, keep your stick on the ice. Have a good evening. Bye.